So we will get started. This is going to be a 60-minute long gentle class. Hold on one sec, I got my hair stuck in my headphones. All right, so 60-minute gentle class. We did change the time frame this week from the 45-minute to 60 minutes. So if for whatever reason you were anticipating that 45-minute long class, for whatever reason, if you need to back out, please feel free to do that at that 45-minute mark. This is also a gentle class, so I will implore and ask that everyone be mindful of their bodies, be mindful of their own personal limitations. If anything that I'm guiding you through doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't feel right, listen to that, all right? Listen, be mindful of that, and just back off. You can always hang out in a seated position, in child's pose, and simply breathe. That's part of our yoga practice too. So do whatever feels right for you today. All right, always a recommendation, have a blanket, pillow, towel, anything. You can place that underneath the sits bones. I really like to do that to start, just because it allows you to feel a little bit more rooted, a little bit more connected in your seat. Allows you to feel nice and tall. Maybe take a couple motions to settle into your seat. Maybe rock side to side, rock forward and back, maybe arch and round the low back a couple times, mini cat-cows. Come to stillness when you find a position where the crown of the head is reaching up toward the sky. You feel nice and tall, but there isn't a lot of effort. The eyes can close, or you can have a soft gaze. Staring at a fixated point, hands can relax, palm down onto the knees. And we'll simply begin by just noticing the quality of our breath. Right here on this Thursday afternoon, notice the quality of your breath without deepening or changing. Simply be with the breath. How does it feel for you right now, in this moment? You can gently begin deepening the breath, inhaling to the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 4. So we inhale and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue with this nice, calm, slow breath. Balancing out the inhales and the exhales, finding that equilibrium in our breath. You can gently begin to attune to the physical body, any sensations in the physical body that require your attention. Is there any tightness anywhere, any strain? Any places that feel nice and loose, fluid? Settle into your physical body. Feel the air around you, warm or cool. Feel the sensation of any clothing up against the skin. With each inhale, imagine the crown of the head, the very top of the head, reaching up toward the sky, creating space between our vertebrae. With each exhale, settle into your seat, feel rooted through your sits bones. Gently shift your attention now to your emotional body, your heart space. How are you feeling today? What is the weather of our emotions? Is it sunny? Are there a couple clouds, or is it dark and stormy? in your heart space today. Take a full round of breath and be with that. Whatever that means for you. Now gently shift your attention to the mind, to the quality of our thoughts. How are our thoughts today? Are they quick and rapid, pushing forward into the future, reaching for that next thing? Are they slow and calm? Maybe somewhere in the middle. Beautiful. All right, we'll gently begin incorporating the 3-part or complete yogic breath, also known as the Dirga breath. You can, for a little self-assist, you can place right hand on the low belly, left hand on the heart space. This is a beautiful, beautiful grounding breath. You can always return to this throughout the rest of your practice or throughout the rest of your day. So it's called the 3-part breath because we inhale and exhale in 3 parts. We inhale and breathe 1/3 of the way into the low belly. Breathe the second third into the rib cage. And the final third into the heart space. And exhale completely, chest, ribs, and belly. Move right back into the inhale. It can be helpful to imagine this breath originating from the lowest point in the belly and expanding upward to fill the torso. So as you inhale, feel the belly press outward into the palm. Feel the ribs lift, peel away from one another. Feel the clavicle rise toward the chin. And exhale completely, drawing the belly in toward the spine. Move right back into the inhale. If this feels uncomfortable for you for whatever reason, always the option to return to that inhale 4, exhale 4, or your natural, normal rhythm. Today we will be focusing on the breath, which is a very powerful grounding tool. The breath connects us to the present moment. When we practice focusing on the breath and returning to the breath throughout our yoga practice, we also foster a beautiful mind-body connection. And when we practice this connection, when we practice being present in both the body and the mind and even the heart, it allows us to find peace in this very moment. Take a couple more rounds of Dirga breath. Inhaling belly, ribs, and chest. Full and complete exhalations. We can begin layering on another type of breath. So I'll be teaching, if you want, you can release that Dirga breath for a couple moments as I explain. So I've incorporated the Dirga breath into a majority of my classes so far. I'm also going to incorporate 2 more really fun breathing techniques that you can use throughout the rest of this practice or throughout the rest of your day. So the Ujjayi breath is a very beautiful breath. It's also known as the ocean-sounding breath. The victorious breath as well, and this can be layered onto the Dirga breath. The Ujjayi can be layered onto the Dirga. So I just wanted to do the Ujjayi and show you how to do that, and then we can move back into the Dirga breath and layer on that Ujjayi breath. So the Ujjayi breath is completed by inhaling through the nose, and we exhale through the nose, but as we exhale, we constrict the back of the throat, almost like we're fogging up a mirror. So it can be helpful to imagine that you're fogging up a mirror. So we inhale, and we exhale, constricting the back of the throat like you're making this sound, but with the mouth closed. So we're attempting to make that sound, a gentle hissing in the back of the throat with the mouth closed. So we inhale through the nose, Exhale through the nose with that gentle constriction. Because we're making an audible noise, this is a very grounding breath. It also sounds kind of like the oceans on a beach, the waves on a beach, which is why it's called the ocean sounding breath. So as long as no one has any questions, if you do have any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself really quickly. But if we're good, we can begin with the Dirga breath again and gently layer on the Ujjayi as we exhale. So you can return to that little self-assist, right hand on the low belly, left hand on the heart space. So we inhale, belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale, constrict the throat, make that Ujjayi sound. And we move right back into the inhale. Inhaling belly, ribs, and chest, feeling that breath bloom upward, expand upward, and we exhale Ujjayi. Take a couple more rounds at your own pace. Inhaling that beautiful Dirga breath, exhaling Ujjayi. Take one more full round of breath. Beautiful. You can release the Dirga and the Ujjayi. Feel free to return to them at any point throughout your practice. We'll gently place our hands at heart center and set a personal intention for our practice today. Could be what I've already spoken about, staying connected with the breath. Could be anything else that resonates with you in this moment. So take a nice slow inhale to seal in that intention, whatever it means for you today. Exhale, release it out into the universe. We can release the hands palm down onto the knees. All right, we're going to take a nice slow inhale through the nose. Exhale audibly out the mouth with a sigh. Couple more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale audibly. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Exhaling audibly is a really great way to also ground yourself into your body, into this present moment, which is why Ujjayi can be so powerful. All right, so we're going to inhale to prepare. As we exhale, the chin is going to drop toward the chest. We're going to take one nice big circle, drawing a nice big circle with the nose in one direction. Inhaling as you look up and exhaling as the chin drops toward the chest. Next time the chin is toward the chest, we're going to pause and rotate in the opposite direction. So drawing a nice big circle with the nose in the opposite direction. Awesome. Just gently opening up the cervical spine. We'll inhale and exhale. Come back to center when you're ready. Awesome. All right, we're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulders up toward the ears. Exhale, melt them down the back. Inhale a couple more times, squeezing. Exhale, release it out. One more time, inhale up. Creating a little bit of tension. Exhale, release it out. Awesome. All right, we're going to inhale the arms up to cactus arms. So imagine that you're nice big cactus. We're just going to open up the shoulders a little bit here. We're going to inhale to prepare. As we exhale, elbows and hands are going to draw together in front of us. Inhale to open up. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Feel the shoulder blades cinch together. Exhale. Gently allow the palms to touch one more time. Inhaling apart, feeling the shoulder blades squeeze. Exhale. Feel the shoulder blades wrap around the body, fingertips touch. We'll inhale back to center. Exhale, hands can release, fingertips down next to the hips. All right, we're gonna do a fun breath retention exercise. I've been excited to do this with you guys. I don't think I've done it in any of my classes so far, at least online. But it's a fun little exercise. We maximize our lung capacity So I'll walk you through the first little flow, and then we can do the other ones together. So we begin with fingertips down next to the hips very gently. We sweep the fingertips behind the hips to crack open the heart space, and we inhale completely. We take a little sip of the air. So you inhale completely, and then you sip the air. Inhaling sharply a little bit more. You hold this inhale until you feel the need to exhale. Only when you feel that need, we exhale, folding forward, arms extend out long in front of us. We exhale completely and hold this exhale out. Only when you feel the need to inhale. We inhale, arms sweep back behind us, heart space cracks open. So join me whenever you feel ready. Inhale to completion. Sip the air. Be mindful of your ego, of your mind, whatever it's telling you in these moments. Only when you feel that fire burning, that fire rising in the throat, in the chest, you can exhale, fold forward, release it out. Move at your own pace. Be mindful of any sensations. Inhaling up, shoulder blades squeeze together. Take 1 or 2 more rounds at your own pace. Gently maximizing the lung capacity here. This is really fun little exercise. Take 1 more. Next time you're folding forward, you can release all of that stagnant air, exhaling completely. Gently walk the hands back toward the torso to come back into the seated position. Awesome. Fun little breath exercise. I really like that one. All right. So we're going to extend our legs out long. If you want, you can release any padding underneath the sits bones off to the side. You can extend the legs out long because they've been tucked in for a while now. Wiggle them out. Bending the knees. Just shaking out all of that energy. Feeling the blood flow down. Maybe flex and point the feet a couple times. Can really be helpful to grab onto the glutes and physically remove them off to the side so you feel a little bit more rooted in your seat. Feel a little bit taller. All right, so we're going to inhale, sweep arms up, out, and around. As we exhale, we're going to hinge forward. So a nice little analogy is imagine you have a string on your belly button pulling you toward your toes. So I also like to give the analogy of we lead with our heart. This can be a beautiful analogy to avoid rounding, losing all of our nice integrity. So as you fold forward, imagine that someone is pulling on a string attached to your navel. Hands relax down on the shins, wherever feels comfortable. So we hinge, we have a nice, beautiful, flat back. Hinging forward to the hips. Only going until you feel that initial hamstring stretch. Staying connected with the breath. 1 more inhale. Exhale, gently rise back up to center, taking it nice and gentle. All right, we're going to sweep the legs out to one side, roll over the knees to come into our very first tabletop position of the day. In our beautiful tables, we have a nice flat back, so there's some slight core activation to prevent pinching in the low back. The wrists are stacked directly underneath shoulders and knees are directly underneath hips. Always the option to come up onto fists if wrists are sensitive, or to grab that blanket towel, roll it up, place it under the knees for extra padding. All right, so we'll do some beautiful cat-cows. For cow, we drop the belly, crack open the heart space, and look up to inhale. Exhale, press into the hands to round, chin tucks toward the chest. Inhale for cow. Heart space cracks open, you look up. Exhale, round. Shoulder blades wrap around the body. 1 more time. Inhaling for cow. Exhale for cat. Pressing upward. We'll inhale. And exhale, return to our beautiful neutral table. We're going to thread the needle. So working the shoulders and the spine a little bit here. We're going to make sure that our right hand is planted directly underneath our right shoulder. We're going to inhale, reach the left arm up toward the sky. As we exhale, we're going to take our left hand and thread it through the space that we've created between our right ankle and our right knee. So left arm threads through that space, left shoulder drops, and left cheek finds the earth. Right hand can stay planted in front of our face, or we can walk it out, extending it out long. We can also inhale and reach the right arm up toward the sky, or exhale and wrap it around the low back. So take whatever arm variation feels comfortable for you today. Breathing into the shoulder stretch. Inhale and exhale. Plant the right hand in front of the face. We're going to inhale and exhale, press into the right hand to rise back up into our neutral table. And then we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So make sure left hand is planted directly underneath that shoulder. Inhale the right arm up toward the sky. Exhale, thread the needle through. Right shoulder drops, right cheek drops. Take any variation with the left arms, feels nice for you today. And breathe. Looking out toward your right hand. Notice if you're dumping all of your weight into your right hip. Gently try and even that out. Release the low belly or any other tension you're holding on to. We'll inhale, plant the left hand in front of the face. Exhale, press into that hand to rise back up. All right, we're going to come into hero's pose. We're going to walk our hands back, sitting on our heels for just a moment. In our hero's pose, we need to take a breath here. As we exhale, we're going to press the hips upward, rising up off of the heels, preparing for our gate pose. All right, so in gate, we're going to extend our right leg long out next to us. The foot is going to stay in line with the knee. All right, so we're in a nice, beautiful long line. The toes, there are a lot of different things that you can do with the right foot. You can keep the toes facing the long edge of the mat, rotating, rolling the outer edge of that foot onto the earth. You can keep the toes in line with the knee, so the toes can be facing the short edge of the mat down on the earth, or you can even lift the toes up. So whatever feels nice for you, whatever variation feels best in your body, we're all different. All right, so we're going to inhale, arms up overhead. As we exhale, right hand drops, finds wherever it lands on the right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Beautiful little gate pose here. Inhale and exhale. Notice if you're rolling, the shoulders are rolling forward or rolling back, keep them nice and in line with the hips. Breathe into the left side body, feeling those ribs lift and expand away from each other. One more inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, both arms back up to center. Exhale, arms float down. You can bend that left knee, tuck it back in. All right, we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Extend the left leg out long. Take whatever variation with the foot that feels nice for you today, so you can keep the toes facing the long edge, roll that outside edge down. That doesn't feel too comfortable for me. I like to kind of have the toes out facing the short edge. It also feels nice to have those toes lifted. It just changes the stretch a little bit. So whatever feels nice for you today, check in line with that foot. Make sure it's in line with the right knee. Hips are square toward the front. We inhale, create length in the side body as we reach arms up, out, and around. Exhale, left hand drops. Finds the left leg wherever it lands. No need to push. Take it nice and gentle. Right arm reaches up and over. And we breathe. It can be helpful to look up toward that right hand, just to allow that shoulder to rotate back a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Feeling that stretch in the hip flexors. One more inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, we'll release the hands down. It can be helpful to come down onto the right hand just for a little extra added support as you tuck that left leg back in. All right, we're gonna come into our first child's pose of the day. So the knees are gonna be wide, about as wide as the mat, nice and wide. Big toes are gonna touch. Sits bones are gonna sink back toward the heels as you extend the arms out long. Forehead finds the mat. If that's not accessible for us today, you can always grab that blanket pillow. Use that as extra support for the forehead. You can always create a pillow for your head with your hands as well. Breathe here. Maybe reconnecting to that Dirga breath, maybe reconnecting to that Ujjayi, the ocean sounding breath. Release the low belly, release the jaw, the brow if you're furrowing the brow. Allow the tongue to be heavy and the bed of the mouth not pressed up against the roof. It can often be so hard for us to slow down. Be present with ourselves and our breath. Oh, all right, beautiful. We'll extend those arms out long if they aren't there already. Press up into our neutral table for one moment, preparing for our down dog. Tuck the toes of the back feet and lift the hips and the knees, coming into our very first beautiful down dog of the day. Take a couple moments, be stagnant before we introduce any motion. Check in with the hands, make sure fingers and knuckles are suction cupped down. The inside edges of the elbows, the eyes of the elbows rotate in toward one another. Press the hips upward as you drive the heels down toward the earth. Beautiful. If you'd like, you can incorporate some motion. Begin pedaling or walking your dog by bending one knee and driving the opposite heel toward the earth. Awesome. Feel your first down dog of the day. Some people describe this posture as a resting posture, which is true for some, but not true for others. So just notice how you feel in your down dog right now. All right, we're going to inhale and exhale, walk our feet toward our hands, coming into our very first ragdoll of the day. Check in with your feet. Make sure that they're stacked directly underneath hips. Always a slight micro bend in the knees. You never want to hyperextend and lock out those knees. So slight micro bend. And we simply hang. You can just allow the arms to hang. You can clasp opposite elbows. Interlace the fingers behind the head. Maybe sway side to side. Just breathe here. Allowing the upper body to stretch, relax, release the lower body. Maybe shake your head yes. Maybe shake your head no. Beautiful. All right. Take one more full round of breath in your ragdoll. Allow the arms to hang, extending long toward the floor if they aren't there already. We're going to bend the knees as we inhale. Exhale, we're gently going to roll up, rolling up nice and slow, rebuilding our spine. Noticing if you can feel every vertebrae clicking back into place. Allow the head to come up last. Take a moment, place hands at heart center. When you're at the top, when you find yourself standing, reconnect with that personal intention. Maybe notice how different you feel after only 30 minutes of practicing, of staying connected with the breath, staying connected with yourself. Awesome. Inhale and exhale. You can release the hands down to the sides. We're gonna generate a tiny, tiny little bit of heat because this is a gentle class. So we're gonna do a very quick moving chair pose. We're gonna incorporate a little bit of motion so it's not as stagnant. All right, and we're gonna have a quick little standing sequence after that and then make our way back down to the floor. All right, so take a moment, place hands on the hips, check in with your feet, shift your weight back and forth between the heels and the balls of the feet. Just take a moment, feel all four corners of the feet, feel rooted and connected to the earth. All right, come to stillness when most of your weight is in your heels, but your toes are still firmly planted on the earth. All right, so most of the weight is in the back of the feet, but the toes are still firmly planted. We're going to inhale our arms up to shoulder height, palms facing down toward the earth. Going to press your hips back slightly. And we're going to maintain a nice flat back like you're sliding down a wall as we bend our knees and come into our chair. So we're going to inhale and exhale, bend the knees. Nice gentle chair pose. No need to push it too hard. Make sure we're tucking the tailbone down. If you were in my Monday class, I talked about tucking the tailbone. So activate the core, lengthen the tailbone down to prevent pinching in the low back. If you'd like to incorporate a little bit of motion, you can inhale to grow a little bit taller. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Nice strong core. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you reach out through the fingertips. A couple more times. Inhale to grow taller. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Last round of breath. Inhale, maybe grow a little taller. Exhale, sink a little deeper. And I fibbed, this is our last round of breath. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Coming back into our beautiful ragdolls. Taking a moment, just feeling that energy, that fire that we created dissipate throughout the body. Taking a moment, swaying side to side. Releasing all of that out. Awesome. All right. Gently bend the knees and roll up. Head comes up last. Take your time. Awesome. If we're not at the tops of our mats, we're going to make our way there. Take your time. Quick little standing sequence, and then we'll be right back down. So we're going to inhale. Just want to make sure you guys can see me. We're going to inhale and exhale. Bend our right leg. Step it back slightly shorter than a leg's distance. So we're not all the way back here in our warrior ones yet. So slightly shorter than a leg's distance. All toes are facing the short edge of the mat. There's a little bit of distance between the feet. The toes of that back foot can be facing the short edge of the mat, or they can be at about 45 degrees facing the long edge, whatever feels best for you. Either way, hips are square toward the front of the room. We're going to inhale, arms up, out, and around. Exhale, keep the legs straight. We're simply going to fold forward over that front leg. Pyramid pose. Feel that gentle stretch. Hands land on the shin wherever feels comfortable. Inhale and exhale, sending the breath wherever it's needed. We're going to begin incorporating a little bit of a halfway lift flow. So as we inhale, we're going to halfway lift like we would if we were in a ragdoll. Nice flat back, like you could balance cup of soup, cup of tea, anything like that on your back. As you exhale, you fold forward over that leg. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat, beautiful back. The gaze can lift. Exhale, fold forward. One more time, inhaling up. Exhale to fold. All right, slight bend in the knees as you gently come up, sweep the arms up, out, and around. Palms touch at the top, and we exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. All right, you can release the hands. Now we're going to step back into our warrior one. So step that left foot back another couple inches. Always the option, have that back heel lifted or have it rotated down and the toes at that beautiful 45-degree angle, okay? So whatever warrior one variation feels best in your body today. Hips are square toward the front of the room. We're going to inhale, biceps come next to the ears. Exhale, we bend into that front leg. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. I'm gonna come around this way so I can see you guys a little bit better. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Always the option to keep hands on the hips if we are experiencing any shoulder sensitivity today. So beautiful full rounds of breath, drawing energy up from our stable foundations, long line of energy from that left hip through that left heel. Inhale and exhale. We're going to gently open up into our warrior twos. You can straighten that front leg, release the hands while we check in with our foundations really quickly. So right foot stayed where it was, left heel dropped if it wasn't already dropped. The toes of the left foot can face the long edge of the mat, or they can be rotated in at about 45 degrees. Hips open up to the left. Maintain that beautiful line of integrity so the knee stays in line with both the ankle and the hip, the right knee. All right, if we feel ready, we can inhale, arms up to shoulder height, exhale, bend into that front leg. You can rotate your head and look out over those right fingertips if you'd like. Nice, beautiful 90-degree angle. So we're never pressing that knee out over that ankle. It's always either in line with the ankle, or if you want to be gentle with yourself, you can decrease that angle. So play around with it, find wherever you feel comfortable today. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you reach out through the fingertips. Beautiful, strong warrior twos. If you'd like, you can begin incorporating a little bit of motion. So as we inhale, the left hand can drop, the right arm can reach up for a beautiful little reverse warrior. As we exhale, we can bend the right arm, right forearm finds the right quad, and we reach up and over with the left hand. If you'd like, you can inhale for reverse. Only do this if you'd like, no pressure at all. Be gentle with yourself. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale for reverse if that's what you'd like to do today. Exhale, fold forward. All right, windmill the hands back to shoulder height. Take one more full round of breath. Inhale and exhale. Hands release. We can straighten that front leg. We'll rotate. Just kidding. We're actually going to take our hands, windmill the hands to frame that front foot, and we're going to step back into our down dog for a couple rounds of breath. I forgot I wanted to return to down dog. All right, so full rounds of breath here. Nice long line of energy from fingertips to hips and from hips to heels. You can walk out your dog if that feels good. Even here, see if you can melt the shoulder blades away from the ears. Gently send the shoulders down the back. All right, inhale and exhale, walk toward the top of your mat. Coming back into ragdoll, feet underneath hips, slight bend in the knees. Hang out here for a couple rounds of breath. Noticing the difference in the legs. Maybe swaying side to side. Maybe reconnecting with that personal intention. All right, hands are going to release down toward the earth. We're going to halfway lift, so inhale, hands slide up the shins to come to the knees, nice flat back. Exhale, release it out. Slight bend to the knees, nice flat back. Arms come up, out, and around as we inhale. Coming all the way up. Exhale, hands release. Down to heart center. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So preparing for a little pyramid posture. We're going to take our right leg this time, bend it, step it back slightly less than a full leg's distance. So slightly shorter stance than our warrior ones. You can keep those back toes facing the long edge, or you can rotate them 45 degrees outward, whatever feels best for you today. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward over that left leg. Taking a couple rounds of breath here. Notice if you're gripping really hard with your toes. Gently release that. Inhale and exhale. Awesome. All right, we'll incorporate that little halfway lift motion. So if you'd like, you can inhale, hand slide up the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhaling up for nice flat back. Exhale, release. Awesome. Slight bend in the knees. Always when we're coming up, we're going to inhale, arms up, out and around. Come all the way up, fingertips touch at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. I can release that out. We're going to step our right leg back to come into our full warrior ones. So step that right leg back about a foot or so. Keep that heel lifted or down, your choice. Check in with your foundations. Make sure you're nice and steady before we inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend into that left leg. Even here, see if you can have a nice strong core. Lengthen that tailbone downward. Press out through that back right heel. Staying connected with the breath, maybe reconnecting with that Dirga and Ujjayi. Inhale and exhale. Open up to the right, so that right heel rotates and finds the earth if it wasn't there already. Check in with your foundations. Make sure right heel is in line with either arch or heel of the back foot. Toes of that back right foot are facing the long edge or rotated in. Hips are open up toward the right. Nice long line of integrity here. That's our most important thing, right? When we're ready, we can inhale, arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, bend into that left leg this time. You can rotate your head, look out over those left fingertips. Taking a couple rounds of breath. Your beautiful warrior twos. If you'd like, we can incorporate that motion. So inhale, right hand drops, left arm lifts for reverse warrior. Exhale, left arm bends, forearm finds the left quad as the right arm reaches up and over. Inhale for reverse. Exhale, folding forward. One more time for each, inhaling to reverse. Exhale, fold forward. Notice how the weight shifts in the feet with this motion. We'll windmill the hands back to shoulder height. One more full round of breath. Windmill the hands to frame that front foot and step back for our very last down dog of the day. Take 3 full rounds of breath in this down dog. Finding something you love about this posture. On your last exhale, knees drop just as wide as the mat, big toes touch. We come back into our child's pose. Breathe here. Feel the breath expand to the back body. Beautiful. All right, one more inhale. As we exhale, we're going to walk the hands toward the torso, coming back into a seated position. We're going to do one last little breathing technique to help us relax. So come into a seated position, whatever that means for you. And we'll do one or two more postures and head down to our corpse pose, our Shavasana. So Nadi Shonda is a really beautiful, also very grounding breath. There are a couple breathing techniques that are more energizing, but I felt like for a gentle class, these would be a lot more appropriate. So Nadi Shonda is called alternate nostril breathing. This is a very relaxing breath. It is said to balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, so very relaxing. So you can take your right hand or your dominant hand, whichever is your dominant hand. Put down all fingers except for the pinky and the thumb, kind of like you're doing a little shakalaka. All right, so it's called alternate nostril breathing. Rotate your palm toward your face so that your thumb is close to your right nostril, pinky is close to your left. So it's pretty simple. We press our thumb into our right nostril and we inhale through the left. After you're done inhaling through the left, the pinky finds the left nostril, presses into the left nostril, and we exhale through the right nostril. We inhale through the right nostril. Thumb presses into the right nostril and we exhale through the left. Inhale left. Pinky presses into the left nostril and we exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Continue with this breath at your own pace. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. Take a couple more rounds of breath. Exhaling and inhaling through the same nostril and then switching. Take one more on each side. When you feel ready, you can release it out. Maybe place hands at heart center. Notice how you feel. Notice if you feel any more grounded, any more centered. Beautiful. Again, feel free to use any of these breathing techniques throughout the rest of your day. They are beautiful for reconnecting to yourself if you find yourself stressed or strained or anything like that. So awesome. We're going to slowly make our way down to our backs. The legs can extend out long. You can come down onto the forearms and release down onto the back. We'll take a couple, like 2 or 3 more gentle postures before we make our way to our Shavasana. So we're going to inhale and squeeze the knees in toward the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe rock side to side to massage the low back. Thank your body for all that it has done for you today throughout this practice, and gratitude to your body. All right, we're going to keep our right leg tucked in as we extend the left leg out long. So left leg finds the earth, right leg and knee is hugged in toward the chest. Take a couple moments, flex and point that foot, that right foot, maybe roll out the ankle. Feel the belly press upward into the right quad. Awesome. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to draw the right knee up and over to the left side of the body. So the right knee draws over to the left. The right shoulder is going to stay nice and grounded. So as soon as that shoulder starts to peel off of the earth, that's how we know our knee has gone too far. So right shoulder stays nice and grounded. You can extend the right arm out long and look out over those right fingertips if you'd like. Left hand can stay on the right knee, gently pulling it over to the left side. Keep that left foot nice and activated. Breathe in your supine spinal twist. Feeling how the breath may have shifted or changed now that we're in a twist. Inhale. And exhale, right knee gently draws back through center. We'll give it a nice squeeze before we extend the right leg out long to meet the left. Awesome. And we'll squeeze the left leg in, taking a couple rounds of breath in our wind relief posture on this side, flexing and pointing that left foot, maybe rolling out the ankle. If we roll out the ankle, make sure we do circles in both directions. Awesome. I'm gonna have to shift downward a little bit so that I can extend my left arm out long, but when we're ready, we can inhale and exhale. Right knee goes up and over to the left. Left shoulder stays nice and grounded this time. You can extend the left arm long, out over those fingertips to incorporate the cervical spine. Nice active right foot to make this posture a full body posture. Stay connected to the breath. Inhale. Exhale, draw the left knee back through center and extend the left leg out long. Awesome. Can do a nice little happy baby before we make our way to our Shavasana. So if you like, you can bend the knees, grab onto the big toes, pull the knees in toward the armpits. Nice happy baby, maybe sway side to side. Maybe extend one leg long, extend the other leg long, extend both legs long. Love happy baby. Beautiful hip opener. All right, inhale. And exhale, you can gently extend the legs out long. I'm going to rotate this way so I can stay mindful of the time. But make your way into your Shavasana, your corpse pose, whatever that means for you. You can extend the legs long, allow the feet to fall open. If you have low back problems, always the option to bend the knees, plant the soles of the feet on the earth in line with the hips. You can always roll up a blanket, place it underneath the knees to protect the low back as well. I generally like to put a blanket on my torso, on my low belly, as this can feel very nice and grounding, and the body tends to cool off during Shavasana. So, find a comfortable position lying down, whatever that means for you today. Allow the feet to fall open. Allow the arms to extend alongside the body, palm up. You can walk the hands out a little bit so they're not directly alongside the body. That can be uncomfortable for the shoulders. You can always walk the arms out a couple feet away from the torso if you'd like. Maybe take a couple Dirga breaths, a couple Ujjayi breaths to ground yourself into this space. When you feel ready and complete, you can release all focus on the breath, returning to your normal, natural rhythm of breathing. So our Shavasana is a beautiful way to practice being present, being mindful. So if anything grabs your attention, any noises, any sounds, sensations, thoughts running through the mind, simply notice them, acknowledge them, thank them, and send them on their way. Let them go. Let them melt away. become aware of the soles of your feet. Any sensation there, any tingling. The warmth or coolness of the air or clothing. Feel the tops of the feet, the toes. Notice your ankles. Gently slide your attention up the shins to notice the knees. Feel your knees and the space behind them. Relax your quads. Feel your hips. Open your pelvis, rooted and connected to the earth. Like an elevator, begin at the base of your spine and gently slide your attention upward, seeing if you can notice every vertebrae and the space between them. Notice your shoulders. Gently allow your attention to trail down the arms, to notice the wrists and the palms, the fingers. Glide your attention back up the arms to notice the back of the head, heavy and rooted. Finally, feel the muscles of the face relax. The muscles of the face, the brow, the cheeks, the jaw, the eyelids. Know that you are more than enough. You are perfect, just as you are. Nothing to change and nothing to fix. Only when you feel complete can gently begin to come back into this space, maybe taking a couple sighs, inhaling and exhaling audibly. You can wiggle fingers and toes, maybe take a nice big stretch like you're first waking up. Take your time. Only when you feel ready, you can roll over onto whatever side is calling you, squeezing the knees toward the chest, taking a round of breath there. And only when you feel complete, you can meet me in a seated position. I can't see Marianne or Joanne, but hopefully you guys aren't still deep in Shavasana. Alright, I'll close out my practice. Place hands at heart center. I bow to all of you Namaste, the light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you all so very much for joining me today.